We are talking about solving nonlinear systems and solving quadratic inequalities. We want to be able to solve systems of nonlinear equations and solve quadratic inequalities in one variable. So each one of these examples says solve by graphing, and they both involve a parabola. So we have y equals x squared. That x squared term right there says that this is a parabola. So right now we have the intersection of a parabola with a line, and the possibilities for these are anywhere from 0, 1, or 2 intersections. So we could possibly have 2 intersections. What we're going to do is we're going to use our graphing calculator, and we are just going to write those equations in. So we're going to y equals, and then we just have to type this equation in. As we can see, the y is already there, and so the next thing we have to do is just type in x squared. We type in x squared right there, and then there's the squared key, minus 8. There's the x key, plus 12. So that's going to be y1, and we can see that that's blue, and we expect that a parabola will be there. The next one that we can graph is we can graph y2, and y2 is going to be this line, and the y is already there. So we're going to have 4x minus 24. And you can see that those are the keys that we've typed in over there on the right-hand side, and then we can graph. And there's the parabola, and we can see that it comes through and crosses the x-axis at, looks like 2, 0, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. Okay. And now we can find out, it looks like we might have 1 or 2 possible intersection points. And that's when it says solve for the graph. We want to find where the 2 graphs intersect. So what we want to do is we want to use this calc function here. So I'm going to hit, because this is written in blue, I'm going to hit second calc. And what I want to find is I want to find the intersection. So I'm going to hit 5. Now it says select the first curve. So I can use my right and left arrow here, and I can see that little crosshair is there. So that's going to be the first curve. So I'm going to select that one. And then it says select second curve. So if I hit the up arrow, no, just keep moving to the right. So y is at -10 right now. So we're getting closer. So I have the second curve selected, and I hit enter. And then it says hit you think it's going to intersect. And I think it's going to intersect right there. So it says the intersection is at 6.000006 and 2.4268 e to the -6. So this is in scientific notation, and what that means is that this decimal is actually going to move to the left 6 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So really that's 5 zeros and then a 2. So basically that means that the intersection is at 6.0 and 0. So one of the intersections would be 6, 0, because we aren't going to deal with all those trailing zeros, and we're not going to deal with all those zeros in the front of a decimal. So we kind of check this from coming from the bottom, and I suspect that there's probably only one solution here for this one, but the only way to really tell for sure is if we do the same process checking from the top to make sure that it doesn't have 2 intersection points there. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do second calc, and we still want to find the intersection the other way. Instead of hitting 5, we can use our down arrow until we highlight the 5, and then we can enter. And it says select first curve, and I want to make sure that I select from above and then hit enter. And select the second curve, which it already is on the second curve. So I can hit enter and then guess, and then I'm going to guess coming from above. So I'm going to hit enter. That's going to be my guess where they intersect. And now this says 5.999999999. Well, if we rounded this last 9 up, then this goes to 0, 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 and then this goes to 6. And then again, we have negative 4.544e to the negative 7th. Well, that means that there's 6 zeros in front of that. So basically, this is the same thing where it's just 6, 0. And so here we don't need this other one. We can just do, that just shows that it has a double root or a multiplicity of 2 at 6, 0. Then we can look at example 2 here, and we're going to go back to y equals. And I'm going to clear this side of the right. And if I want to clear this, and I want to clear this one as well. Now over here, we want to do the same thing. And again, this is 1/2 times x plus 6, quantity squared. Right now we have a x squared, so we know that this is going to be another parabola. So when I go to graph it, we're going to type in y equals x plus 6, and that's a linear function because there's a degree of 1 there. And then the next one is 1/2 times x plus 6. And then that whole thing is squared. And then that's all set. And then we can go back to our graph. We have the line coming through, the first one, that's the blue one. And then we have the parabola. And then here we can see that there's pretty clearly 2 different intersection points. We can see that little space in between the blue and the red graph. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go second calc, and we want to find the intersection. So we're going to hit 5. And I like to work from the left to the right. So I'm going to move my arrow all the way over to the left, going pretty slow. And so it says select the first curve, and I'm going to hit enter, and then select the second curve. And now I can see that my cursor is on the red parabola. And then it says your guess, where do you think it is? I think it's right there. So it says negative 6, 0. So my solution for one of the points is going to be negative 6, 0. And then we just have to do the same thing. So I found this point here. Now we got to find this point over here. And it's going to be the same process. We're going to go second calc. And we're going to go 5 for intersection. And it says select the first curve. Well, this is the first curve. And then select the second curve. I can see that it is on the parabola, and also it says up here which curve it is on. So I can hit enter. And then it says select your guess. And hit enter. And it says negative 4, 2. So my second solution for this one is going to be negative 4, 2. So that is solving a nonlinear system using a calculator.